So this looks familiar. So long story short, I am back on with the Imperials. If you figured from watching this video, although on my Facebook I have mentioned, on YouTube I haven't yet. But anyway, now this looks familiar, and you're probably thinking, oh my god, is that actually a special weapons Dalek fin? It is, and it isn't. So, long story short, I found this a while ago. I don't know if I've ever put anything on YouTube about this part, mainly because I did everything on Facebook. But yes, here in Cass, I was on a walk one day and I came across this from a distance, and I thought, and it was a bin basically, and I came across it and I thought, is that what I'm thinking? And I got closer and closer each time, and my heart was racing, and I was like, yes, I found it. I took it on my back, took it all the way home. I was giddy as anything. I went on Project Dalek. I asked everyone, got quite a lot of attraction. The downside is, and there is a downside and a good side, it is a genuine, from the company, which I'll put in the corner because I can't remember the name. The company in the 80s that manufactured these bins. It's a bin, if you imagine it flipped the other way, and there would be a lid on the top. Here would be for the handles, which I've cut off. But yes, so long story short, the special weapons Dalek, which I'll have on screen. In the 80s, remembrance of the Daleks, 4 brand new Imperial casings were made. These being a lot more close to the Necros Daleks, but having the, if we show, having the slats moulded into the case. Now, I'll have another video about that soon. Moulded into the case. These new upright 80s Daleks. The Daleks had to be as cheaply made, again, hence the reason 4 props only made. The Necros Daleks were then painted in the grey colour scheme with a few different modifications here and there. And the Shawcraft variant Daleks was slowly getting pushed out because of their just worse for wear over time. And in the 80s, the new upright Daleks were basically the new Daleks, basically, that they were using. Again, the Daleks that I'm building, the Imperials, did have a lot of off-the-shelf items. Originally, the whole thing about the special weapons Dalek was it was going to be a floating platform. All this info is on Dalek 6388 if anyone's interested in that, and their YouTube channel. Most of this info is coming from them, so if you could support them, that would be great, because it's mainly them guys that I'm getting all this info from. So yeah, Special Weapons Dalek was originally going to be a floating platform with a turret on it, and a Dalek would, you know, glide on, sit on, and take the turret. If you imagine, like a tank basically, a Dalek moving a tank. Of course they couldn't do that because of the price and budget, and CGI was not, again, it just wasn't going to be capable, unlike today. So they thought, we'll take a Dalek then, and we'll mount a cannon on the front of it. So with them, you know, coming up with using the skirt, the shoulders of the Necros Daleks, because they didn't have the moulded slats, and the dome, they then used different other parts to create the tank. So of course they made a custom-made gun box for this big cannon. The cannon itself was odd parts here and there, so saucers, plant pot pieces, all that type of stuff, which can be found on the plans from Project Dalek. And for the neck, well, they wanted to go for a more tank look, hence the reason for the neck bin. It works. You wouldn't think it was a bin if it's put on a Dalek, but yes, this is just overall a bin, and I'll have another picture of it. So where I am currently, I am basically, these discs, there's a disc inside and there's a disc on the top, held up with some struts to make sure this is round, and they were cut out with a router. The whole reason is, you've got to imagine this thing has been sat in the elements for years. It's got a lot of scrapes, and I'm having to try and sand it as best I can. And yeah, it's just been out in the rain and weather and everything, and it was on its side, so of course it's a bin at the end of the day. So it was heavily warped, so I've had to put a disc in the bottom, you know, measure, make sure it's then snug. Use silicone to then make sure silicone doesn't seep underneath when I go to put a vessel, I think the word is, vessel, maybe, or something else. So when I pour the silicone in, it'll capture every detail. The top will all be body filled and sanded, everything. Most of my work is cut out because I don't have to do all this. So all I've got to do is just body fill and yeah, it's done. So that's where I am currently. So yes, I will have a special weapons Dalek to go alongside with my Imperials. Going on a note from that, I am still on with the paradigms, but don't worry, it's mainly because the Imperials have been sat in storage for so long, hence the reason why these shoulders are right to the side, and I need to get them done so I can make more room for other stuff. But to show how progress is going, I've primed up the eye and cleaned it, and this is so far one of the eyes. Now it's not accurate, not 100%. If I was to go on about the discs, someone who's an Imperial fan is going to know this. So as you can see, the reason why they're flat and not angled is because I printed them in 2 halves and then glued them together, because I'm going to have 3 of these props. I really would do the whole where they angle like so, but that's just a lot of time and effort. And the pupil is looking quite nice. It's a method I've done in the past, so I'm not copying anyone. I did do it on a Dalek I sold to someone which now lives in Leeds, if anyone knows about that Dalek. But I haven't seen it for a while. And yeah, doesn't look like a lot of work, but it is a lot of work. And also the eyeball, it's not this part is not going to be a part of it. It will be moulded, like hence with the paradigm eyes, you know, so that they're a solid resin cast. So that'll be happening with this because of the heat. These are on the top of a Dalek. Heat is always distorted, which I learned from MNRK. But yes, and that's what it looks like. Don't look like a lot of work, like I say, but I'm so proud of that. So the Imperials and the Special Weapons Dalek is where I am now focusing on. So you'll probably get a lot of updates. I am still on with it, if you see. He's still outside, but I'm just taking a bit of a break and focusing on the Daleks that are mostly done and just ready for moulding. So yeah, hope this has been a informative video of the part, and you should be hearing from me soon.